Okay, so the recent news that has kind of taken over some of the XRP Ripple talks has been the recent bid to acquire Circle by Ripple. Okay, so as great as that sounds, we need to talk about it. The $5 billion bid was rejected. We'll get into some of the reasons why, and then at the end of this video, I'll give you my thoughts on why I feel that Ripple is making a good move. And I'll talk about kind of the implications down the road as cryptocurrency continues to evolve and what this means as an XRP holder. So you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. I appreciate you guys giving me a couple minutes of your time. If you are new to the channel, awesome. Love some new faces. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us right here on the channel. Completely free to do so. We've been talking XRP since before the SEC litigation, and really do appreciate all you guys sticking with me over the couple years that we have been doing this, because this is something that it is fun to talk about every single day, and I really do get enjoyment in not just seeing cryptocurrency prices go up, but more and more people getting into the fold, and that's what we're going to talk about right now in this video. So the best way that we're going to kick this one off is talk about what the market is doing. First and foremost, we'll talk about the big boys at the top, and yes, XRP will be lumped in that discussion. I consider them third in market cap. They are kind of back and forth with Tether, but just, you know, at one point this eventually will lead XRP back into that 3 spot, but they are down 0.9%. We're seeing a little bit of a retracement across the board. If we look at the overall top 100, you can see it's a red day pretty much across the board. There are a few cryptos into the green, but for the most part, it's a 0 to 5% move to the red if we look at the overall on the daily, okay? But as we look at Bitcoin, you know, hovering above 96, Ethereum over 1,800, and XRP trading hands at $2.21. Talk to you guys about my strategy. Pretty much every time XRP dips below $2, I am acquiring, trying to add to my cost basis and reduce that because I did buy some XRP above $3. And this is just kind of the plan that I have set in place to kind of help with some of the ebbs and flows, the volatility in the market, and really do look for XRP to do well in the long haul. And what we're going to talk about is the implications right now within the Ripple bid, okay? And this bid, we have seen the question, did they raise it to $20 billion? Are they getting desperate? Are they making this kind of the priority for them as a entity to acquire Circle? And why are they doing this? Okay, we'll talk about kind of why it's unrealistic. Obviously, guys, what I talk about here is not financial advice. It's just kind of what I'm doing in the market. Make sure you guys all do your own research and due diligence. But this is where we've seen a lot of commentators circulating the rumors that Ripple has raised its acquisition bid by a massive 4x, but there's no confirmation, okay? This is something where I think this piggybacks off of, you know, the RLUSD. There's a reason why Ripple wants to launch their own stablecoin, okay? And instead of trying to organically grow that, I think that they're just trying to jump the line a little bit and looking into the USDC market cap at 61.7 billion. That absolutely dwarfs RLUSD at 317 million. This is something where you look into why they want to acquire Circle, okay? And very impressive that they are just kind of, you know, if they do jump into that 4x bid, I think that's something where it's very impressive, and I really think it really does show some conviction on why they want to do this, okay? Now, this is something where Cointelegraph briefly reported $20 billion. It was a rumor, but this was in the absence of an initial source. And amid all this frenzy, this is something where Circle declined to comment. So a lot of these conversations are probably closed-door meetings. You're not going to hear any kind of people putting their, you know, stamp and their reputation and their name on the line to confirm any rumors, okay? Because deals like this, they oftentimes do fall through, even if they do get accepted. And that's where we see a lot of skepticism, but this is something where, you know, people that want to buy XRP based on this, please remember that Circle is just a stable coin, but there is a reason why they want to do this, okay? And that's kind of the big answer, question, I should say, and the answer is more important on why they want to do it, okay? So that kind of goes on. You see a lot more people in the industry talk about why $20 billion could be unrealistic. They think that the final value will be likely $6 billion to $6.5 billion, and that would be in line with a typical acquisition, a little bit more so above that fair market value, and that's estimated to be around $5 billion, okay? And it's something that's estimated too, basically on the premise that Circle is expected to have an IPO if this is something that does not go through, okay? So they would look to go public. and you want to value typically above 20 to 30% above that baseline valuation if you do apply kind of the standard, and that would be something where you look at $6 to $6.5 billion being that final number. Okay, so that's kind of where we are with that. This is something where you want to look for official announcements and nothing really from the rumor mill, because this is something where I don't think really anybody will have a reliable source until something actually does happen. I think then either the markets will just pump on the news, or you're going to get an official announcement from either Circle or Ripple in terms of those camps. Okay, but this is why we want to talk about, why is this play brewing in the first place? Okay, this is something where you add kind of what's going on with regulation, you add kind of with the premise that crypto is going to boom, and the millions of users that we are hoping to bring into the fold. The XRP ETFs, I mean, the list goes on, and now we have trouble with the SWIFT banking system, and XRP is just waiting in line, ready to kind of do their own thing and just take control of that market share. And that's something where I think that we see a lot of things happening. But the reason why is the importance of this is the Stable Genius Act, okay? And that's something where it's going to be used for the regulatory and establishing a framework for the United States Stablecoin Act, and that's something where dollar-backed stablecoins are going to have a huge role, okay? So I think personally why this is going to happen is because it does set up, and I should say it tees up Ripple to really get into the cross-border payments wholeheartedly, right? It's not just going to be a small percentage. They want the whole darn thing. They want to kind of make something better than SWIFT and then put it out there for everybody to use. And to do so, you have to have a lot of regulatory affairs in order. You have to have, all these things from a legal basis ready to go. And then from there, Ripple can deploy and really get that governmental push. And then, essentially in some form or fashion, basically take over the world as it relates to cross-border payments. That is kind of why they want to do this. I think that Circle, this acquisition, would put them really at the forefront of doing this. I think it's just a very strategic move that does align with their agenda. And it's a deal made in heaven, personally. And I think that's kind of where I stand on all this. Will I think that this directly, the deal gets signed on a dotted line? Will XRP pump, 30, 40%? Not going to rule anything out, but if it does, I don't think it will be something that will be sustained, but it will kind of have an effect just due to what we would see potential with the speculation of all the inflows that would be flocking into the native XRP asset. Okay, so that's kind of what we have going on. I wanted to touch upon this. It's not going to be 20 billion. I think that's kind of in line with what I'm thinking. It would be probably more so with that, that overvaluation where we would see, 6.5 billion. And then from there, guys, I think that this would be a monster deal. Okay. So leave your comments down below if you have anything to add to this discussion, why this would be a good thing for XRP, why this would be good for XRP holders. Please leave me a comment down below in the description or in the comments box. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. So have a great weekend. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this quick XRP update. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. Appreciate you guys following along, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.